Hello, Senator Sanders?
For the love of God, who is this?
Senator Sanders, it's me, Jimmy Dore.
Oh, hello, Jimmy. How are you this fine day?
Very good. I met you the other week at the Young Turks, remember?
Of course. Yes, I remember. Always good to appear on the internet with people who look like they should be on the internet.
Okay, well, I guess...
the Young Turks is like television in the same way in that episode of Seinfeld when Kramer found the old set to the Merv Griffin show and was interviewing people in his apartment.
Well, I think we do good work there. Listen, how are you doing, Senator?
Jimmy, I am well. I'm feeling well. I'm invigorated by our recent successes. As you know, we have won 7 of the last 8 primaries and caucuses. And I truly feel that our message is successfully getting across to the electorate. I really do.
I agree with you 100%, Bernie.
I'm glad to hear that. And don't think I didn't notice you switching from Senator Sanders to Bernie.
Yeah, I'm sneaky like that. What are you focusing on now?
Well, needless to say, we have our eyes set on the April 19th primary in New York State.
Yeah, how are you feeling about that? How do you think you're going to do against the Clinton machine there?
Well, obviously, Senator Clinton served as senator from New York. She has definitely curried favor with some of the more powerful entities and structures of influence in that state. And by that, I, of course, am referring primarily to Wall Street and its interests. However, I know a little something about the Empire State myself, having lived in Brooklyn for the first 18 years of my life. The Big Apple, like most places, has a soft spot for a native son. There's nothing like a native-born New Yorker. And aside from that, the message of our campaign, I feel, will resonate upstate as well, where large sections of the economy have been blighted by the very unfair trade practices and policies and corporate tax loopholes that we are railing against.
Yeah, I'd have to say more than a fighting chance. But you only lived there for 18 years?
Yes, correct. My first 18 years, yes. Then I went to college in Chicago and moved around, finally settling in Vermont.
Wow, I have to say, Bernie, your accent is amazingly thick for someone who hasn't lived in New York for over 50 years. I mean, I know people who were born in other countries and moved here 40 years ago and barely have a foreign accent.
Yes, Jimmy, I have a thick Brooklyn accent. But I have always seen it as a political asset rather than a liability, given my aggressive and caustic debating style. Therefore, every year I return to my native Brooklyn with other transplanted natives and undergo a 3-day intensive dialect immersion program to ensure that I don't lose it and it remains as strong as the day I took the subway to Grand Central Station when I was 18 years old.
Really? How does that work?
Well, we all convene in a small apartment like the ones we grew up in with no air conditioning and eat a bunch of food like deli sandwiches with a shameful amount of sliced meats on them. And we talk and argue and gesticulate and sweat. And almost like a revival meeting, we start to shout. Does this soup need to be this goddamn hot? I'm unreasonable. You're unreasonable. Jesus Christ, enough with the yelling already. After 3 days of that, we all walk out there with 1958 Dodgers pennants that have magically grown out of our asses.
Okay, I see.
And by the way, I'd like to add that, of course, we're talking about the old traditional Brooklyn accent. Brooklyn has changed a lot. I don't know what a current Brooklyn accent is, but I would imagine it's whatever Skrillex sounds like when he talks.
Okay, I see. I got you.
So anyway, that's how I keep my apple big, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, what's astonishing me about your campaign, Senator, is how the more momentum you gain, the louder your naysayers get. These people were naysaying you in the beginning, but as time went on, the bigger your chances seem to get, the less chance these people say you have. What's up with that?
These people are idiots, Jimmy.
I agree.
You have to understand these naysayers you are talking about. They felt from the beginning that I was challenging a candidate who had been permanently chosen by Zeus himself to get the nomination. I can't overemphasize how much these people see this all as a chain of succession, not a democratic process. These Clinton acolytes will come up with any reason to discredit my chances. Look at these people. Paul Begala with that creepy grin like he's in that Soundgarden video.
Black Hole Sun?
Black Hole Sun, exactly. They're political hacks, and you have to learn to tune them out.
What do you think about all the pressure being put on your supporters to back Hillary if she gets the nomination over you?
That strategy is more transparent than the shower curtain in the one bathroom we had in our tiny apartment growing up in Brooklyn. Look, let's be clear. You don't bring up those types of scenarios in the middle of a primary campaign if not for one specific reason: to take the wind out of my sails, to undermine my message as an alternative to Hillary's based on her presumptive heir model of reality. To say to my followers, okay, once you children have had your fun, come back to the grown-up table and sit down and be respectful and do what Nanny McPhee here tells you to do.
Wow. I thought you were going to keep things non-negative.
In my campaign, sure, but this is a Jimmy Dore call.
Uh-huh.
I'll say what I want. You think a Nanny McPhee reference is bad? What she really looks like is a woman whose hobby is sneaking into grade school bathrooms and telling little boys their penises are shameful, if you want to get honest about it.
Bernie!
Jimmy, don't you dare act for 1 second like you can't see what I'm talking about.
Okay, Senator, but to play devil's advocate for a minute, many of your supporters do describe themselves as Bernie or bust. That is to say, if you don't get the nomination, they won't vote at all, or worse, they will vote for Trump out of spite.
Yes, sure, of course. In the fever pitch of a campaign that has some momentum behind it, there is going to be some absolutism. It's only natural. But anyone with any political intelligence realizes after the dust settles, these people will rethink that when faced with the reality of a Clinton versus Trump choice. These Bernie or bust people are just saying something to sound tough. Hillary Clinton should be able to relate to that better than anyone.
So the Hillary camp is simply doing this to delegitimize you, in your opinion?
Unequivocally.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. And it's not going to work because people will see through it and it will backfire and have the opposite of the intended effect. This chili wasp ice queen is used to having her devotees fall for her hypnosis and do her evil bidding. She's too dense to realize that's not going to work on others. And let's be positive. I'd like to think that in a few months it will be Hillary's supporters, this army of Chicos and Lane Bryant catalog print models that she has, that will have to make a decision of Bernie versus Trump.
Well, I hope so, too. And I have to say, Bernie, I'm pleased that you're saving all your secret Hillary burns for our show.
My pleasure. It's something that needs to come out of me occasionally. If it doesn't and it builds up, my prostate will suffer. Not that Hillary Clinton would know anything about that. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go figure out how to defeat Hillary in a campaign once and for all. So I'm going to the library to check out Grimm's fairy tales and look for some tips. Feel the sick burn.